Average Pat's Movie Reviews.
Hi everyone, Average Pat here to sit to chat today about the movie Gemini Man. It's been a few days since I've seen this. I've unfortunately been having issues getting my settings back on my microphone, but they're up and good. So let's finally get to work here. Gemini Man is a movie about a famed assassin that Will Smith portrays named Henry Brogan. His character is about to retire. He's done quite a few hits for the government for a fictional company called the DIA, and has decided to finally hang up his shoes. In the meantime, the company decides that they don't really want him retiring, and his friend who used to be a worker at DIA, whose name was Jack Willis, played by Douglas Hodge, gives him a heads up, hey, something ain't quite right, you might want to really be careful, look into it, something's kind of fishy. Well, what's fishy is they do try to take him out because of what they're afraid he knows. And in the process, they send out the best of the best to take out the best. Well, what is the best of the best? In this case, it happens to be a clone of Henry himself, played by a digitally de-aged Will Smith. Incredible ability with these de-aging apps and devices. It's amazing what they can do. However, they can't pick up for the lack of passion in the project. The graphics look amazing. The cinematography done requested by Ang Lee is just incredible. The problem that he had with this was he decided he wanted to film the film in, I believe, 120 frames a second. Typical movie films are 24 frames a second. Now, if it's 60, you're basically seeing it at what your eyes can actually see it at normally. Figure day-to-day motion. Me moving my hand looks a little blurry on the camera, but to my eyes it looks normal. You can handle speeds up to about 60 frames a second. 120 really blurs the line of what's real and what's digital. And there's many scenes in this movie that I was very upset with just because of the fact of they're so well choreographed and well scripted out fight scenes and action moments that should have come across as beautifully done, and with this high frame rate they look ridiculously fake. It's a shame because I'm sure it's cutting edge, and with technology moving up and all, I'm sure we're going to wind up being used to this in like 5-6 years. Oh, remember back in the day when it was only 24 frames a second? My God, the pictures were horrible. Yeah, but this is like ridiculously fast and ridiculously blurry because it's so fast. It just doesn't come across as real. Some of the scenes where the stunt people, and I know they've done their work because, I mean, that's how they make their living, and I'm fully supportive of them getting their own Oscar category, actually, because of the hard work that stunt people do. Their work isn't going to be appreciated because it looks like it's a digital person. And to me, that takes away from the movie. Besides the weak storyline, instances like the opening sequence shows Henry laying down in the middle of a flowery field to take out a person on a moving high-speed train from 2 kilometers away. Okay, doesn't sound like an impossible feat, quite difficult, until they show the next scene and he states that he's highly allergic to bee stings. Yet he's laying in the middle of a field surrounded by flowers where I'm pretty darn sure there's going to be some bees. Why would he risk himself that way? I mean, little things like that just don't really sit well. Overall, Mary Elizabeth Winstead played a character named Danny, who's supposed to be keeping an eye on Will Smith's character and winds up trying to help him as best she can. She does a very good job, very believable, a little bit far-fetched. They really hammer the point that he's a clone. Found out why he's as good as you and looks like you because he is you. But she says it like 3 or 4 times. It's a little excessive in trying to drive home the point that we already got from the trailer, let alone from the actual movie. It could have been better done script-wise to make it a little bit more interesting. It was very predictable, in my opinion. Most of the scenes were kind of like, yeah, okay, this is going to happen soon enough. Oh, look, there it is. And, as much as I love Clive Owen, the actor, he's amazing in most of his roles that he does. Well, I wouldn't quite say amazing, but he's very good in most of his roles. In this one, it seems like he phoned it in. This movie just had a weak storyline for his character, and I really think he realized it and was like, well, screw it, let's just do the best we can, and, at a half-assing it, and that's pretty much what he does. Unfortunately, that doesn't come across very well in a movie where it's supposed to be very important. The de-aged Will Smith character, it seems like Will tried to push it a little bit too much to make himself seem younger. He tried to make his voice a little bit different. He worked too hard at that. His Henry character, that was the regular guy who's the older, been down the road a couple times, he seemed to drag that out a little bit too much. Overall, I can't say it was a great movie. I can't say it was a bad movie. So I'll just go and say it was decent. It's not going to be one that you're going to be upset if you miss in the theater. When this comes out on YouTube, or Netflix, or YouTube Live or whatever their streaming service is, by all means, go ahead and watch it there. But I really don't think you're going to miss much by skipping this in the theater. Again, it's a shame because Will Smith has done some good movies in his past. He's done some decent ones, and this one's just not up to snuff with what I expect from him at this point in his career. It seems like he just kind of accepted a weak role and wasn't really willing to work with it too well. As complicated as it could have been, it seems like he forced one of the roles and the other one he kind of let's just do this role as it is. So overall, my opinion for this movie is I give it a 2 3/4, 2.75 out of 5. It's just not there. It's disappointing, and like I said, I think a lot of it was the script being a weak storyline, but a lot of the graphics made it seem what should have been somewhat plausible and fairly believable just looked digitally awful, and I think it's a shame. Ang Lee is a very, very groundbreaking director. Everybody knows that. This one had the potential to be a good movie, and unfortunately, I think they dropped the ball. So if you like this review, you appreciate it, please hit the subscribe button on my YouTube page, like it on Facebook, like it on YouTube as well. And let me know what movies you want me to review and see. And I will do my best to get them up and post them up for you. Have a great night.